Hey there, Natasha. Do you have a little time to talk? I have some huge news that I just have to share with you.
Oh, hey, Mom. Yeah, I guess I have some time right now. What's up? What's this big news you have?
Well, it's actually about Liz's wedding.
Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, Liz is going to have her wedding around the same time as I'm going to have mine, and, well, it's a bit weird for sure.
Yeah, I heard that you two were having it on the same day. Except I also heard that your sister is going to want to go all out for hers.
That is what she's always saying about her wedding. But I don't really mind at all. It's her big day after all.
I know, but with that going on, I think our budget is going to get just a bit tighter than we thought, and, well, I was wondering if we couldn't ask to borrow some money for your sister's wedding?
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that, Mom, but I definitely don't have that kind of money to give to Liz for the wedding she wants.
Oh, come on, don't lie to me. I know that you've told me about how much money you've saved up. You're loaded.
Yes, I have been saving up money, but that has been for my own wedding. So, I'm sorry, but I won't be lending you any of it. Besides, this is the money that I've been saving up with my fiancé, so he has a say in this too.
Oh, come on, don't be like that. What if you just cancel your wedding and then you can give me everything?
Mom, what are you talking about? You don't actually think that I would do that, would you?
This is for your sake too, though. Can't you see that? I mean, do you really think anyone is going to want to attend a wedding where the bride is as ugly as you?
What is the matter with you? How could you say that about your own daughter? Don't you know that hurts my feelings? I know that I'm not as pretty as Liz, but that doesn't mean that I can't have a wedding and be happy too.
Don't you dare talk back to me, you little brat. You really need to learn some respect. I am telling you that you need to cancel this wedding before it becomes a laughingstock for everyone there. And then you can give me all the money you saved up for it and spend it on your sister instead.
And I am telling you that's not going to happen. Why should I have to give up my dream of getting married for Liz? What you're asking of me just isn't fair at all.
So you're really not going to lend me the money that I'm asking for then? Is that what you're telling me?
That's right. I won't be putting even a cent towards my sister's wedding unless it's a wedding gift.
And just what do you think that your poor sister is going to think of that when she hears what you've said?
Actually, Mom, unlike you, Liz lives in the real world, and I don't think she's going to be too upset about this. In fact, I really can't see her being that way in the slightest, so there.
We'll just see about that. But you haven't heard the last of this, Natasha. Natasha, thank you so much. You really are such a good sister. And Liz was just so pleased when she heard the good news.
Sorry, what are you talking about? Because I don't remember doing anything for Liz lately.
Oh, you mean that you've already forgotten about the money you gave to your sister for her wedding?
The only thing I remember with that is telling you that I wouldn't be giving her any money at all.
I know you said that, but I told you that we would really need it, so that's why I just borrowed your debit card for a little bit.
Mom, I seriously have no idea what you're talking about in the slightest.
You mean you still really don't get it? Oh man, you're slow. Why don't you log into your bank account and check your balance? Have you really not realized that you've been cleaned out?
That can't be right. There's no way you emptied out my bank account. I had $40,000 in there.
That's right. Now all 40,000 of those dollars are going to go towards giving your sister the best wedding ever.
Wait, you're right. The money really is gone. I don't believe this. Are you really telling me that you stole my debit card and moved out all of my money?
Stole is such a mean word. I just borrowed the card and then put it back where I found it. Is that really so bad?
You also moved all the money I had in there out, and now I have nothing. That's stealing. I can't believe that you do this to me, Mom. But you better give me my money back right now.
But don't you want to hear about how happy Liz was when I told her that we'd finally figured out the budgeting problems for her wedding? You don't want me to go back and tell her that we're back to square one again on that, do you?
Mom, you stole my money. that was not yours to use however you wanted to. And are you really trying to tell me that Liz has accepted my money without any issue at all?
Well, of course I didn't go and tell your sister where I had gotten the money from. I just told her that I solved the budget issue and that money wasn't a problem anymore. But I haven't told anyone that I've done this at all, so make sure to keep it our little secret, okay?
You mean that you're lying to the whole family about this? You really are terrible, do you know that?
I'm lying to my family for the good of my family, don't you see that? And now that you don't have a penny left to your name, I suggest you give up on having your little wedding. It's not like anyone would have wanted to go to it anyways.
You're not going to get away with this, Mom. I'll tell you that right now.
But I already have, and now your sister is going to have the most amazing wedding. And I have to go out and look for a dress to wear as well. Oh, and I'll have to get nails and hair done, too. Natasha, would you be a dear and lend me some money so that I can go and get my makeup done on the day of the wedding?
Did you seriously just ask me for even more money? I don't even have a cent to give you.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that I took all your money and put it towards your sister's wedding.
Hey there, Liz. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions about your wedding.
Oh, hey there, Natasha. I was actually just thinking of reaching out to you to talk about that exact thing.
Oh, really? Well, are things all on schedule for the wedding? Everything on track for the big day?
Well, that's the thing. At first, we were really over budget and worried about what we were going to do, but then Mom somehow found a bunch of money and said we didn't have to worry about the budget anymore. She said that we'd have more than enough to make sure that every little detail of my wedding was perfect. I really am so happy that Mom worked so hard to put that last bit of money together. It was a huge help.
I see. So then, have you already spent all that money that Mom came to you with?
Yeah, pretty much. The bridal company was waiting for the payment to give to the venue and caterers and stuff like that. Mom said we were over budget, but it was pretty close by the end of it all.
Oh, I see. So then, all the money is already gone?
But I also wanted you to know that I took a lot of the advice you had to give me on wedding ideas. So I just want you to know that this wedding wouldn't have been possible without you either.
Well, I guess that I'm glad I was able to contribute something. But your wedding is going to be a pretty big deal, don't you think? I thought that you hated big events like that.
Yeah, you know that a big thing like this really isn't my style, but Mom said that she was going to pay for everything and told me not to worry about the scale.
Oh, did she now? I should have guessed it would be something like that.
Yeah, but I just want you to know that I've been thinking about your wedding a lot recently. I mean, I hope preparations are going well for you too. I'm actually so happy that I get to be getting married around the same time as my sister.
Yeah, well, things are going, I guess.
So then everything's on track for you as well? Your wedding plans are going smoothly?
Well, I think that we're actually not going to be able to have the wedding, as it were.
Hold on for a second. What do you mean you're not going to be able to have a wedding? You said that you've been saving up for this for so long.
I know, and that's actually kind of what I wanted to talk to you about right now.
Did something happen? Is everything okay? Please, I have to know why you're canceling your own wedding.
Well, okay. I know it's going to be hard to accept, but you have to believe that I'm telling the truth. Mom, why would you do this? I still just don't get it.
Ugh, I seriously don't have time to deal with you right now, Natasha. I am so really busy trying to get everything ready for your sister's wedding.
But I just want an answer. What made you think that you had the right to use up all my hard-earned money like that? Don't you know how hard I worked and how long I was saving up to get there?
Well, of course I know how hard you worked to save up that money. And now I'm just making sure that it all gets put to good use. I mean, you didn't actually think that anyone was really interested in being at your wedding, did you?
Why do you keep saying that? What about me makes you think that people would want to help me celebrate?
Well, have you looked into a mirror recently? Just who would want to help someone like you enjoy a wedding?
I really don't think that anyone cares at all about how the bride and groom look at a wedding. It's just about the love that they have for one another.
It just shows how little you know about the real world. Don't you know that our family and friends are all going to be there? So if we're going to gather all these people for an event, it better be one that's actually worth going to.
And you're saying that Liz's wedding is worth going to, but mine isn't? Is that why you did this?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Don't you get it yet? You're an embarrassment for the family. You're nothing compared to your beautiful sister. And just who even is this man you were supposed to marry? He's just some run-of-the-mill average Joe, isn't he? You're both just a couple of nobodies.
Do not talk about my fiancé that way, Mom. I love him, and that should be enough. Why do you have to be so judgmental?
Well, how can I not be? Look at your sister's fiancé. He has a good job, went to a good school. He's just all around better than yours.
Neither of our fiancés are better or worse. They're just different people, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Of course, you would think that. Ever since you were little, you've just been jealous of how better your older sister has always been. She was blessed with brains and beauty, and you've never ever been able to compare to her. Sometimes I wonder why I had to have you after such a perfect first child.
I can't believe that you'd say that about us. You're my mom, and you're saying you regret having me?
That's right, and I'm not going to apologize for telling the truth.
You know, ever since I was little, I always was scared that that was the case. And I guess now you've gone and confirmed it for me. So I guess all I have to say now is thank you. Now I know exactly how you feel and can act accordingly. Hey, Mom. I just want to let you know that my fiancé and I have a date for our wedding.
Wait, what? What do you mean? How in the world are you going to have a wedding after I took all your money for your sister's wedding?
Well, I asked around for help from family and friends and got enough money together to keep out plans. Of course, there were a lot of things we had to downsize on, but I'd be more than happy to give you the date now.
Yes, please do that. That way I can schedule in having a cold on that day and I can miss it.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
What do you think it means? It means that I don't want to go to your lame wedding, and I can't think of anyone else who would.
Well, like I said, the only reason we've had to downsize the wedding is because you stole my money from me. But feel free to pay me back anytime, and I'll put it all towards my wedding like I had always intended.
I should have expected something like this from you. But I am going to tell everyone that they shouldn't go to your wedding.
I don't get it, Mom. Why do you always have to be like this? What's the matter with you?
Do you have any idea the amount of work that I've put into your sister's wedding? Why do you want to waste people's time with your sad excuse for one, too? It's just going to be a waste of time, effort, and money.
I still don't get it, Mom. Why are you talking to me like this? I mean, aren't I your daughter, too?
You already know how I feel about you. As far as I'm concerned, I only have one daughter, and that's Liz. But maybe this is a good chance for us to finally ask you this. We should use this as a chance to never ever see each other again, so please just pack your bags and move out.
You mean that you're just going to disown me? Just like that?
That's right, but you're not actually upset about it, are you? I mean, you're going to go and start your own new family. Besides, there's no place for a spoiled brat like you here with us.
Okay, fine then. If that's how you're going to be, then fine. I'll move out and I never want to see you again.
Good, and good riddance. This is probably going to be the only thing you've done that has made me happy. Natasha, are you there? Do you have any idea where your sister and father are right now?
What's this? And here I thought that you and I were never going to talk to each other again.
I don't have time to play games with you, and I wouldn't even be texting you if it weren't an emergency. I woke up this morning and neither of them were in the house. They're not answering my calls or texts either.
I see. And so that's why you're reaching out to me about this?
That's right, although I doubt that you have the answer either.
Oh, you're wrong about that. I know exactly where Liz and Dad are, actually.
Hold on a second, do you know where they are? Well, where are they? Tell me right now.
They're at my wedding venue, if you must know.
So then you're having your wedding right now, is that right?
No, the wedding is still just a little ways off, but we are all here at the venue.
Okay then. why are they there with you at your wedding venue if it isn't even your wedding today?
Well, that would probably be because it's Liz's wedding today.
What in the world are you talking about? Your sister isn't going to be getting married until next week.
Oh, is that what she told you? I don't think she was being completely honest with you. She probably just didn't want you here. And that's why she told you the wrong date and time for the wedding, so you wouldn't be here.
Excuse me? You really just have no idea at all about what you're talking about, do you? Do you really think that your sister doesn't want me to be here at her wedding? That can't be right. It's impossible. You're lying.
I'm not lying. If you really want to know what happened, I told Liz about all the horrible things you've been saying to me. And I told her all about the money you stole too. Well, she was so upset about it that she didn't want to see you again.
But why would you do this? Why would you ruin your sister's mood about her wedding like that? If Liz stays mad at me for this, then it's all your fault. You realize that, right?
I really don't see how this is anything but your fault, since you were the one who treated me poorly. It's not like I've been said a single lie to Liz about this.
Well, I wasn't asking you to lie to her, but you didn't have to go and tell her the whole truth either. And now, thanks to you, I'm missing my own daughter's wedding.
Yeah, well, like I said, you have that coming all on your own. Don't blame me for what is obviously all your fault.
Ugh, whatever. At least I know the wedding is happening now, so I'm going to head over there right now. It's a good thing I already have my dress for the big day.
I really don't think that you'd make it on time for the wedding, even if you left now.
What the heck is going on here? I don't get it.
Well, the wedding is about to start, and even if you left from the house right now, it would still be a 2-hour drive. By the time you arrive, the whole thing would be wrapping up, get it?
But 2 hours? I'll never be able to make it to the wedding on time.
That is literally what I just said, Mom.
But how could this be? Surely people are noticing that I'm not there. Aren't our friends and family saying anything? Don't you know how much work I put into making this wedding happen? Surely your sister realizes how unfair she's being right now.
You think that this is being unfair? You think that you put in work? You just stole all my money to pay for this.
Shut up! I didn't steal your money or anything like that. As your parents, I made a financial decision for you that benefited the family.
It didn't benefit the family. It quite literally was all for one person. And when I told Liz what you did, that was when she got really upset.
That can't be it, though. There's no way she'd be that mad at me. You must have told her some kind of horrible lie to try and turn her against me, didn't you?
I've already told you, Mom. I haven't told my sister a single lie about anything that's happened.
But if she didn't want me at her wedding, then you must have told her something wrong. Because otherwise, she would never do this. I know that she trusts me more than she does you.
Are you really sure about that? You might want to try talking to Liz herself about that one.
Well, I can't, because by the time I arrive at the venue, everyone is already going to be gone. Elizabeth, sweetie, are you there? Do you have a moment to talk to your dear old mom? Mom, my wedding is about to start, and I don't want you getting in the way of it, okay? Wait, no! Please, just read what I have to say. I'm begging you. We have to try and talk this out. You have to know that Natasha is lying to you. What are you saying? Do you really think I'm going to buy that now? You have to believe me. She's just trying to come in between you and I and tear us apart. She's trying to throw you out of the house. I'm sorry, Mom, but I just don't trust you. I can't trust you. You're a liar. I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. You've been tricked, I promise. Okay, so you're telling me that Natasha was lying to me when she told me you called her ugly and said you didn't consider her a daughter? Was that a lie? Of course that's all a lie. Do you really think that I could ever talk to one of my daughters like that? Well, then how do you explain the text that Natasha showed me of you saying those things? I didn't do it. I don't know how technology works, but your sister must have manipulated my messages somehow. Does that mean that you really were going to go to Natasha's wedding as well? Of course I was going to go to her wedding too. Do You really think that I would go to one of your weddings but not the other? Okay then, do you know when her wedding is supposed to be? Surely you have it in your calendar if you're planning to be there. Oh, yes, I do have it written down, but I just don't have my calendar on me right now and I can't remember. You really forgot your own daughter's wedding date? Well, do you remember coming to me with $40,000 to spend on the wedding? Yes, I worked so hard to get that money together for you so that you could have your perfect wedding. You know I did that for you, don't you? Did you really? Because Natasha tells me that you just robbed her of her wedding money she'd been working so hard to save for. She said that you stole her debit card and moved around the money all without her knowing. Did you really think that that was going to make me happy? No, you've got it all wrong. That isn't what happened. Natasha came to me and offered up the money for you. I didn't steal anything. I just can't believe that, Mom. Natasha told me that she wouldn't be able to have her wedding after you did that. Did you really think that I was going to be able to enjoy my wedding when Natasha's was ruined? You told me that you were going to pay for it all, but instead you just stole from your own daughter. And didn't you realize that the whole reason I left my wedding up to you was because I was busy planning Natasha's? Hold on. What do you mean you were planning Natasha's wedding? I mean exactly that. I was in charge of putting together my sister's wedding. And you tried to ruin it all. Do you have any idea the stress you've caused me? Okay. I realize that I may have acted rashly and made a mistake or two. Is that the best you've got for an apology? If that's all you have to say for yourself, then you can save it. Liz, what are you talking about? I mean that I don't want you at my wedding, and I don't ever want to see you again. Don't even text me, got it? This is all your fault. Liz is never going to talk to me again because of you.
You really think you can call this my fault? You're the bad guy here. How do you not get that?
How could my daughters be so selfish? Don't they know all that I've sacrificed for them?
We're grateful to you for raising us, but that doesn't excuse what else you've done.
So then do you think she's really going to never speak to me again?
I think that's a decision for Liz to make, and you accept it when she does.
Well, fine then. If that's how you're going to be, I'll just sue you both for all the money I spent raising you.
Really, Mom? That's what you're going to do? Wasn't Dad the breadwinner when we were growing up? What could we possibly owe you?
Okay then, I'll just have your dad sue you then. What do you think about that?
Mom, Dad isn't on your side on this, and frankly, he's sick of your behavior as well.
What? You mean you've turned my own husband against me?
We didn't do anything. You did this all by yourself. How do you not understand that yet? In fact, once we're done with the wedding here, Dad is going to file for a divorce and then make you move out. So I just stay at home and start packing up.
Your father is going to divorce me and kick me out? No, that can't be true. You're lying to me, aren't you? He would never do that to me.
You know that Dad is family man and that he cares a lot for Liz and I. Are you really surprised he'd do this?
But, I mean, you don't think he'd actually throw me out, do you?
I guess you'll just have to wait and see about that, won't you?
But that's not a reason to divorce me. I just wanted to give my daughter an amazing wedding. No judge would ever grant a divorce for that.
Okay then, take it to court and see what a judge has to say about the kinds of things you've been putting me through.
You all can't do this to me. I'm going to call the police. What do you think about that?
I think if you call the police, I'll explain to them about my stolen money, so feel free to do that.
You mean you'd really report your own mother to the police? You don't have the guts. I'll show you. I'll prove to you that Mother knows best.
The police were waiting for Liz, my dad, and I when we got home. My mom had already given them her side of the story, but by the time all three of us could explain the kind of person Mom really was, the police realized who the real criminal was and arrested my mom for her theft. After that, my dad filed for divorce, and it all went smoothly. Since it was her first offense, the judge decided to let my mom with no jail time, instead charging her a hefty legal fine. After the court case, however, we all cut Mom off and never talked to her again. I heard that after she moved out, she moved into a tiny apartment. With no real work experience, she had no choice but to accept multiple part-time jobs to afford her rent. I wish that things didn't end like this, but my mom did it all to herself, and I refuse to take responsibility for her mistakes.
Well, if it isn't my least favorite sister-in-law, but unfortunately, my only one. I hope that you're all ready for tomorrow.
Am I ready for tomorrow? What do you mean by that?
I mean that someone as poor as you probably doesn't have a single item of nice clothing to wear for tomorrow. Duh.
You really think that I don't have any nice clothes?
Look, we are all going to be gathering tomorrow for the graduation party at a really nice restaurant. Don't you know that? So if you can't at least make yourself look good, then can you at least try and behave yourself?
You mean Fred's graduation party? Yeah, I know when my little brother is graduating, thank you very much. And I don't think I'll have any problem at all getting ready and making myself presentable for it.
You're probably only excited for something like this because you're thinking of all the free food that you'd be able to get.
You really think that I'm only going to be going to my brother's graduation party so that I can have a free meal? Are you serious?
Oh, come on. You know that you don't have to lie to me. I mean, your brother is finally going to become a lawyer. I'm not saying that you're only thinking about this free meal. I'm saying that you're thinking of all the free meals you might be able to get out of Fred.
And just who do you think you are to make a claim like that? I mean, do you even know what I do for a living?
I don't know what you do for a living, and I don't care what you do for a living. Whatever it is, I doubt that you can even make that much money off of it. Anyways, whatever it is that you do, Fred hasn't even told me a word about it, so how great can it be?
And here I thought that he might have wanted to mention it to impress you.
Anyways, just try to make yourself look nice for tomorrow, got it? Can you at least do that for us?
Hey, just what the heck is going on here? What's the big idea?
Hello there, Marie. Did you end up going back to your shack of a house?
Actually, if you must know, I've gone to the hospital. You do remember throwing your hot bowl of soup all over me, don't you? That's why I had to leave in the first place.
Me? I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about. Although, I did see you run outside the restaurant looking just hideous. What were you even wearing? Is that really what you came in?
And just what's wrong with what I was wearing? Are you telling me this is all because you didn't like my outfit? You burnt me. You're the reason I'm getting treated for injuries right now. I don't get why you did it, but I'm not going to let you hide behind that flimsy excuse.
I really have no idea what you're talking about. But why don't you go and find a mirror and see just what you look like today? Because if you think that I was going to let your poor-looking self get anywhere near your lawyer brother, you're dead wrong. I told you to dress up for this dinner, and you came looking like someone pulled you in off the street.
You're horrible, do you know that? I have no idea why my brother would choose to be with someone like you. It just doesn't make any sense at all. What could he possibly see in a girl like you? Where was he anyways? Why didn't he see you do all of that?
Oh well, I told him that I had forgotten something in the car, and I asked him to go out and get it for me. And that was right as you were coming in from the other side of the restaurant. It really was too easy to get away with this.
How can you say something like that? You're just a terrible person. I can't even talk to you anymore. But you are going to take responsibility for what you've done. I'll have you know that.
And just what is a poor little nobody like you going to do about that? Actually, I don't care. But good luck.
Fred, what have you done? You are really in for it now.
Oh? Marie? I heard all about what happened from Donna. She said that you came in the restaurant, but that you weren't feeling well and had to leave right away.
Oh, is that what that woman told you what happened to me?
Yeah, and it really stinks because Donna actually said that she had gifts that she wanted to give to you and Mom when you showed up. But then she actually left them in the car. So I had just stepped out to go get them, and by the time I got back, you had already left.
I see. Well, you might want to know that the reason why Mom and I had to leave early was actually because of Donna. She threw a hot bowl of soup on me and burned me.
Hold on a second. Is this supposed to be some kind of joke or something like that? I mean, why would Donna do something like that?
That's exactly what I want to know. You think I have a good reason for her actions?
But, I mean, there has to be some kind of mistake here, right?
I don't know if you've noticed, but is anyone except for Mom and I not there right now? By the way, you should also know that when Donna pulled this little stunt, she even set up her phone first to record it. She is a sick, sadistic person, and I don't even know what else to say.
Wait, hold on. Okay. I know Donna spends a lot of time on her phone, but there has to be an explanation for all of this.
I'm telling you what the explanation is, if you just listen to me.
I'm sorry. I'm just really confused right now.
Well, I don't know where your head has been, but you've been way too lenient with Donna. I mean, you already know Mom wasn't exactly on board with you getting together with Donna like this, right? You two had only been dating for a month before getting married.
I guess maybe I might have jumped the gun just a little bit on things, huh?
Look, I'm just saying that Donna is your wife, so if she's treating your family poorly, you're the one that needs to speak to her.
Okay, you're right. I understand. I'll talk to her soon, and I'll pay whatever you were charged at the hospital, so just send me a picture of the receipt. I really am sorry about all of this, but we'll talk soon.
You really are a little tattletale. Did you know that? I mean, what are we, in 5th grade or something?
Excuse me? And just what could you possibly be talking about now, Donna?
I mean that I know that you went to your brother and cried about how mean I was to you all so that you could get him to pay you for your hospital bill. Do you have any idea how mad Fred was at me, though? You'd almost managed to turn him against me.
What are you talking about? You deserve to have people mad at you. What you did was bad.
Well, now Fred is demanding that I go and apologize to you. Oh, I just feel so sorry for him.
What are you up to? Why do I have a bad feeling about this?
You think that I'm up to something? Oh dear, perish the thought. I'm not up to anything. I'm just busy thinking about all the fun that I'm going to have spending all the money that your brother makes as a rich lawyer. It really is such a shame that you died when you did. Otherwise, you might have someone on your side who could do something about this. But don't worry, I promise to take good care of Fred. You got nothing to worry about there at all.
I really just don't even know what to say to you. Do you even care about Fred, or are you only with him for his money?
You really just don't get how this world works at all, do you? But I'm not here to answer your questions. In fact, I would prefer not having to deal with a sister or mother-in-law at all.
So then you just want to get rid of us both and have Fred all to yourself?
Oh well, if you're suggesting that, I think it sounds just lovely, really. Then I never have to deal with poor nobodies like yourselves again.
Okay then, but if we're never going to interact with you again, then I guess that means we have to rethink hiring Fred.
Excuse me? Just what is that supposed to mean, huh?
Yeah, not only that, but I guess we'll also have to ask Fred to pay back all the support we've given him while he's been at school. After all, you do want a clean break from us, right? No strings attached or anything like that, yes?
I seriously have no idea at all what you're talking about. You're not making any sense to me at all.
Well, I think I'm speaking pretty clearly, to be honest. I mean, it's not easy to become a lawyer, and you need to find a firm willing to hire you. Not only that, but it takes a lot of money to be able to attend law school and not have to worry about anything else.
But I don't get it. What about the money that Fred would have gotten from his dad?
I guess you weren't there for the reading of the will, but our mom was going to receive all of Dad's assets. But you should also know that I've been the one paying for his school since he graduated high school.
Hold on a second. What? Are you serious about that?
I'm very serious. And that was when Fred was 18. Now he's 29 and finally graduating from law school. And even though he was living at home that whole time, I was still the one paying for all his food and things like that. But it was hard for me to turn him down when he said that he wanted to be a lawyer just like me.
You're kidding. You can't be serious about that.
I'm afraid that I am serious about it, though. I'm a lawyer, and I'm also in charge of my own law firm.
That can't be right. I thought that you were just some normal, ordinary office worker or something like that.
Well, I suppose you can't be blamed for that. It sounds to me like Fred never told you just how he was supporting his lifestyle. But it is still just a mystery to me of how he ended up with someone like you. I still just can't believe it.
But wait just one second. There's no way that we're going to be able to pay 10 years of financial support back.
I'm afraid that choice isn't yours to make, Donna. After all, Fred and I have a contract between the two of us. And he agreed that if for whatever reason he quits his pursuit of being a lawyer or decided to run away on day, that he will be liable to pay everything back.
But that's not fair. That means you've basically trapped Fred, doesn't it? You're a terrible older sister. You're acting like you're doing Fred a favor, but who forces their own brother into a binding contract?
And here I thought you were finally starting to understand what I was saying to you.
Oh, I understand just fine. But the thing is that I'm not stupid enough to fall for something like this. There's no way that you tricked Fred into some lousy contract because you're not even a real lawyer to begin with. You think I wasn't able to see through the lie the moment you started telling it? You're nothing but a poor loser, and nothing is ever going to change that.
Are you really sure about that? It sounds to me like you're making an awful lot of assumptions. But okay, if that's what you think, then I suppose you and I don't have anything more to talk about.
Hey Fred, are you there? I seriously just can't deal with your sister anymore. I mean, she is acting completely inappropriately. You really just need to cut her out of your life completely.
Excuse me? Donna, what in the world are you talking about? What have you done?
What have I done, Fred? What are you talking about? You're confusing me.
Don't play dumb with me. Do you really think I'm gonna cut off my sister like that? I'm sitting right next to her, and she's been showing me this text conversation this whole time.
Wait, what? You mean to tell me that you're sitting right next to your sister at this moment? I had no idea you two were together right now.
Well, Marie actually came over to hand deliver the receipt for the treatment she received at the hospital. At first, I still couldn't believe that you had done that to her. So, I tried asking Marie a bit more about what happened. But then you started texting her, and before long, I knew that what she was saying about you was true.
You mean that you knew that your sister was lying to me by not telling me you were there, and you're still going along with this? You're just making up excuses for yourself.
I'm not making up anything. You've been the one lying this whole time. And also that you could try and drive a wedge between me and the rest of my family? I don't care how many times you apologize now. Nothing is going to make me forgive you.
But wait a second. So then, are you telling me that your sister was telling the truth? She really is a lawyer?
Of course she is. Not only that, but she's been paying for my school and supporting me this whole time.
You've got to be kidding me. Why did it take me this long to find all of this out? You should have told me this beforehand.
You're right. It might have been wrong of me not to mention it. But I just wanted to try and show off. I knew that if people thought I wasn't able to support myself without my family's help, that they might look down on me.
So then, you're telling me that you lied to me about that just to protect your own ego? This means that this is all your fault. Nobody can blame me for anything that I didn't know about.
Now look, I'm willing to take responsibility for not telling you about where my money was coming from. But the fact of the matter is that what you did was unacceptable no matter the circumstances. The way you treated my mom and sister as if they were just leeches getting ready to bleed me dry? I really am let down by you, Donna. I want a divorce. I never want to talk to you again.
What? You've got to be kidding me. Please tell me you're not being serious. I mean, you're really going to divorce me because of this?
Why do you say this as if it's not a huge deal what you've done here? You looked down at my family, tried to get at them. You only wanted to use me, and you hurt my sister. I could recognize all that my family has done to be there for me and support me through everything, and I'm very grateful for them. If you thought that you were going to be able to stay with me while being so horrible to my family, then you've got another thing coming. Didn't my sister tell you that she's the whole reason I wanted to be a lawyer in the first place? She's my inspiration.
No, this can't be right. This can't be happening. I love you more than anyone else. You just can't end this when we haven't even been married that long. I swear I'll treat you better than either your mom or sister ever could. You have to listen to me.
Okay then, let me ask you something else. The first that you wanted to give my mom and sister on the day of my party was an apple pie you made, right? I know for a fact that I warned you about Marie's apple allergy, and that I wanted you to be very careful about it.
You mean you looked into the box that I was going to hand over to them?
Yes! Apparently my mom had taken the box from the restaurant, but neither of them had a chance to look inside with all the rushing to the hospital. My mom had told me that you had told her that it was a chocolate cake, though. So, you lied to my mom because you knew it was something Marie was allergic to.
Wait, no! That isn't right! I just picked out the cake that I thought looked the best from the store, I promise!
And you just completely ignored what I told you earlier about my sister's allergy? I saw you write down a note in your phone when I told you. You said it was so you wouldn't forget.
Oh, did I do that? I really don't remember at all.
I can't believe you. How could you do something like this on purpose? It's practically poisoning someone.
I didn't realize that you were going to be so upset about it. If I knew how mad you were going to be, then I wouldn't have done it.
If that's all you have to say for yourself, then I think that we really are done here. You've been plotting to get rid of Marie and my mom for a long time now, haven't you?
How could you say something like that to me? You really don't believe me when I say that this was an honest mistake?
Are you really still not going to own up to it? Whatever. Can we just sign the divorce papers and get this whole mess over with?
Please, you have to listen to my side of the story. I just need one chance to convince you, that's all. Marie, are you there? I really need your help right now.
I'm sorry. Who is this? I don't seem to have this number saved in my phone at all.
Marie, please don't be like this. We're family. I'm your sister-in-law. You know who this is.
My sister-in-law? I'm sorry, but there must be some kind of mistake. My brother is getting divorced. I don't have a sister-in-law.
Please, I realize that I made a mistake, and I'm really sorry about everything. Please don't do this to me.
Hold on a second. Weren't you the one that thought I was lying about my life when I tried to tell you about it? You really have some nerve coming to me and asking for my help after treating me that way, you know?
Please, just listen to me. I'm begging you. Fred is going to leave me if you can't convince him not to divorce me. I'm begging you to help me here. No matter what I say, he just won't listen. Can't you do something to try and convince him to stay with me?
Let's get a few things straight here. 1, my mom and I are happy and more than supportive of Fred getting a divorce from you. 2, I still haven't forgiven you for what you did to me. 3, I don't even have an ounce of pity for you. So when you add all that up, why in the world do you think I would ever do something to help you?
Okay. I realize that I screwed up. I was mean and did things that should have never been done. But if I had just known more about you, then none of this would have ever happened.
You mean you really think that that makes what you did any more excusable? Give me a break.
Come on. Don't you get that I'm trying to apologize to you here? I'm really sorry. Don't you get it?
I don't really care what you call it. I'm not going to be accepting any sort of apology from you.
I just didn't know. You can't actually be mad at me for not knowing who you are, right? That just isn't fair.
You think it's fair for you to treat people the way that you treated my mom and I, all because of who you thought we were?
No, it's nothing like that at all. Please stop putting words in my mouth. I'm not saying these things.
But you are. You're not saying them, but there's no other way to interpret what you're saying. The only things I'm getting is that you think it's okay to hurt the people that look down on. This is why you thought it was okay to empty your bowl of soup on me, wasn't it? Are you really going to tell me that that wasn't you showing off your true colors? And to think it could have been a lovely little dinner party, too. I was even going to pay for everyone.
Wait a second. You mean that you were going to pay for the dinner of everyone there at the dinner party?
Of course. When I heard that Fred was putting this together, I thought it was a lovely idea and even suggested the restaurant. I told Fred not to worry about the price because I was also wanting an excuse to go out and see friends and family.
But then, don't you at least blame Fred for this? You see how it's not my fault, right?
Oh, I've dealt with Fred and have given him a stern talking to, if you must know. But he also came to us to apologize right away. Honestly, you could learn a lot from a man like my brother. At least he knows how to own up to his own actions and take responsibility for them. But as for choosing what to do with you, that really is entirely up to Fred.
But what about me? If you're going to forgive Fred, then surely that means you have to forgive me too, right?
If you're still asking me after all this time, then I don't think that we have anything more to discuss here. But it sounds like you and my brother sure might. After that, Fred started the divorce process so that he could end short his sad marriage to Donna. Donna still couldn't accept what was happening to her, and so she fought the process every single step of the way. It wasn't until I stepped in with my own lawsuit for what she did to me that she was finally broken and she let the legal processes concerning her take place. The divorce was finally able to take place, and Fred made sure that Donna got nothing in the divorce. Meanwhile, she was also forced to pay me a large fine while having a crime be put on her permanent record. When her parents heard the news, they were beside themselves with anger and just let down by their daughter. It didn't take long before rumors began to spread around Donna's parents' neighborhood as well. After a while, Donna couldn't stand all the staring and whispering around the house. She moved out of her parents' house and found a tiny apartment to begin her new life in. But without any real work experience, she had no choice but to start working multiple part-time jobs at once. As for Fred, he came to me and told me that he didn't want any more favors from me now that he was graduated. Instead, he struck out on his own and began at a small firm in town. I know the lawyers he's working for now, and they're a good, experienced group of professionals. I am sure that Fred is going to have a bright and successful career ahead of him. He told me recently that he started dating again, and I only told him that as long as he didn't bring back someone awful like Donna, I wished him all the luck. I did warn him to maybe wait more than a month before getting married to someone next time, though. As for me, I was just glad to get my brother back, and now that we had managed to get rid of such a horrible woman, my mom and I agreed that we'd have to keep a much closer eye on Fred's choice of romantic partners, but that it also meant trying to be a much more welcoming and open about our family. Whoever they are, I just hope that it's someone Fred has taken just a little bit more time to get to know before jumping straight into a committed relationship.
Hey, Cindy, I never ever want you to come back here again. Do you understand me? Go and find some other apartment to live in or something and stay there. Then tell me where it is so that I can send you all your stuff.
Chuck, please don't be like this. Can't we just talk this out in person? I know that you want kids soon, but...
No, there's nothing left to even talk to you about. Besides, talking with you isn't going to change the fact that you can't have kids. You're infertile.
But we haven't even both gone to the doctor about this. What if it's not me that can't have the kids?
Oh, I see what you're saying. This is so you. Always trying to blame me for everything, but it's never the guy's fault. It's always the women who can't have kids.
I really think that you might want to go and check the facts on that one because guys can be infertile too. I'm just saying that we've been seeing doctors about me and seeking treatments for my body, but nothing is working. So I'm just wondering what you think about going to talk to a doctor about this as well.
I'm telling you that it's always the women who can't have kids. So why would I waste my time going to see some doctor about something? You're just mad because the treatment didn't work and now you and I have no reason to be together anymore. You're going to have to come up with a better excuse for why I should stay.
Please, Chuck, I'm suggesting this for your sake as well. I know you might feel embarrassed talking about it, but this is why we go to doctors.
I am telling you that I am a man, and there is no way that I'm the one who can't have kids. You really just don't know anything about how the world works, do you? Honestly? How did I even end up getting married to such a stupid woman? What was I thinking getting with you? I mean, have you even thought of what would happen if someone I knew happened to see me in the clinic? Do you have any idea the rumors that might start to be spread about me? I'd barely even be able to go to work without everyone pointing and laughing behind my back. I can't have that when I'm in charge of such an important project there now.
But who cares if someone sees you? What are they even going to be able to do?
Well, they'll think that I'm pathetic. I wonder what a guy like me is doing at a fertility clinic. I need the world to see that I'm not some weakling. And I'm a very serious and healthy man who knows how to take care of himself.
I really don't think that anyone is going to judge you that deeply for seeking medical help. I just think that you're a bit stuck up and prideful and are scared that others could get the wrong idea.
You really know how to get under my skin. Do you know that? I'll have you know that appearances are everything in my line of work, and I can't risk hurting mine. I mean, that's the real reason why I married you in the first place. I figured that we'd look good standing next to each other.
So then you're really saying that the only reason you wanted to marry me was because you thought it would help your image?
Pretty much. You were good to look at, but man, I had no idea just what a boring woman you really were. And now you can't even have kids. It's like a bad joke. Everyone knows that as a businessman like me gets older, I need to start a family. I need to keep my life on track, and you're not helping.
So then even wanting a family and kids is all just part of your business strategy?
And so what if it is? I just call that being efficient. I get kids, plus the world thinks that I'm the kind of man that I should be. Or rather, I could have been if it weren't for you.
Please don't say things like that to me, Chuck. I mean, do you really think this is how you should be talking to your wife?
Why? Are you saying I should be ashamed to talk like this? I'm sorry, but a businessman tells it how it is. That's what I'm known for around the company.
Well, that's fine at work, but your life isn't your work, and you can't talk to the people you love like that.
It sounds to me like you're just upset because you can't handle hearing the truth. But soon you won't even be my wife, so I'll talk to you however I want. But the thing is, I don't even want to talk to you anymore. So don't ever try to contact me again, got it?
Well, fine then. If this is how you're going to be, then I'm just glad that you and I never had any kids. I would hate for them to grow up with a father like you, only interested in using them for social gain.
Do you think my kids are going to be unhappy? You have no idea what you're talking about because you couldn't even give me kids. I'm going to go out and find a different woman. Someone younger and prettier who is sure to be able to do what you can't.
I'm sorry, but if you think that anyone is going to be able to love you when you're like this, you are dead wrong. But whatever, you're not my problem anymore, and I already feel the weight coming off of my shoulders.
I know that secretly you're just crushed inside. You can't hide the truth from me. Well. What do we have here? If I didn't know any better, I would say that you're stalking me.
Well, you clearly don't know any better because this is nothing more than a coincidence. I really had no idea you were the man that Anna was going to get married to.
I had no idea that you were friends with Anna. But then you must know that she's the daughter of the CEO of a huge company. Which begs the question, of course, how do you even know her?
If you really must know, we know each other through work and we've become friends ever since meeting each other.
Oh, I see. So you're just another one of her work friends. Well, that's fine. I knew you wouldn't have a good reason for knowing a woman as successful as her. I mean, not only is she gorgeous, but she is also as sharp as anyone I've ever met. She's basically everything that you're not. But don't worry. I think that you can learn a lot about how to improve yourself from her. After all, I don't seem to remember you having many high-class friends. But no matter how hard you try, nothing is going to compensate for the fact that you can't have kids.
Well, great. I'm glad that you two have found each other.
Yeah, it's a pretty deal. I don't think I could ask for a better girl than Anna. But it's just a shame that I had to waste my time with someone like you before finding her.
But I assume that you're still just looking for a wife to advance your career prospects, and that's it, isn't it?
I mean, marrying Anna certainly isn't going to hurt them. Hey, Cindy. We just passed by each other right now, and you weren't looking so good. Is everything okay?
Oh, hello, Mr. Trask. Thank you for asking. It's just been a long day. But you were also looking a bit tired. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay, but just thinking about Anna getting married. I don't know. It's a lot to take in, you know?
Well, I can see that. You are her father, after all. You've probably been looking forward to and dreading this day for a long time.
No, it's nothing like that. I'm more than happy for my daughter to make her own decisions in this world. But I just hope that she makes the ones that make her happy.
Oh, I see. Well, that also makes plenty of sense, but what makes you say that now?
Well, I really don't want to be saying this on the day of the wedding, but I really don't like this Chuck guy at all. I mean, I just feel like he isn't trustworthy.
Oh, do you really think so? What makes you feel that way?
Well, okay. So when he first come to the office to meet me, he was very polite and spoke clearly, which are good things. But the whole time, I just felt like he wasn't giving me the whole picture.
Well, as Anna's father, what made you want to give her the okay to have the wedding?
Do parents still even bless their kids' wedding anymore? I don't think she really asked me for permission, so she just wanted me to meet her fiance because I'm her dad. And I just want to do what I can to cheer her on.
I see. But even so, you can't help getting a bad feeling about Chuck. If it's okay, I'd like to send you some messages that Chuck sent to me. You see, he actually kicked me out of our house 3 years ago.
Wait, you two know each other?
It's a long story.
Okay, I think I'm starting to understand a bit more about who this guy really is. And it seems like I was right to trust my gut on this one.
To be honest, I was really conflicted about showing those messages to anyone. So please don't make me regret trusting you with that part of my past, sir.
Of course not. But at the end of the day, whatever happens, it's going to be Anna's choice. And I just have to go and find her first. If she still wants to marry him after all I have to say to her, then that's fine, and I'll support her no matter what.
I really do admire how much respect you're showing to your daughter's life choices, even if you don't agree with them.
Well, I mean, I'm her father. It's kind of my job. It's all thanks to Anna that I've learned so many important lessons about life. So I just want to try and set a good example for the day when she might have kids too.
I guess being a parent never really ends, does it? I mean, you're still her dad, whether she gets married or not.
Yeah, it's crazy, this thing we call life. But anyways, I have to go and try to explain to Anna all about her husband. We'll talk soon. I was thinking about it, and I only managed to get a glimpse of you walking in from the window, but you've gotten really, really far. I mean, I don't know what else to say except that the past 3 years have not been kind to you at all.
Excuse me? Is this really why you're texting me right now? To call me fat?
Hey, come on. Don't be mad just because I'm calling it how I see it. But I guess you must have taken breaking up with me pretty badly if you'd end up like this. Why did you even bother showing up to this wedding if you become so ugly, though? Aren't you embarrassed?
If you must know, Chuck, I am pregnant with twins.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that? You're pregnant with twins?
I mean, you pretty much just said it. I have 2 babies growing inside of me right now. It's actually pretty tough on me physically, but I couldn't be happier or more excited for this.
But then, that means that you're pregnant. I don't understand. How did this happen? I mean, you were infertile. We tried so many different kinds of treatments and none of them worked. Wait a second. You're just lying to me, aren't you? You just don't want me to know how fat you've actually become.
I am not lying or trying to hide anything, Chuck, but if you want to check for yourself, why don't you come over here and I'll introduce you to my husband.
Husband? You mean to tell me that someone wanted to marry you after me? Now I know that you're lying about this. You just keep piling up the lies, but I'm not buying them.
Well, okay then. I guess I'll just have to go over there and explain things to you. Wait just a second.
Keep away from me. I don't want you coming near me. I don't get it. How did you do all of this? How was your life like this?
What do you mean, how is my life like this? What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, I thought that since you were infertile that nobody would ever want to marry you after we broke up. And then I thought that you were just lying to me about being pregnant so that I wouldn't know that you were fat. But on top of all of that, you actually hired some guy to pretend to be your husband just so you could try and trick me? That really is taking it too far.
Chuck, you literally have no idea what you're talking about at all. I'm not lying to you about any of this.
No. I know that you're lying. I know that you're not pregnant, and I know that you're not married. You can insist all you want, but you aren't going to fool me.
If you don't want to believe me, then that's your problem. Just don't come crying to me when it comes to bite you in the butt.
I'll have you know that I'm getting married, and it's to a woman 1,000 times better than you. So unlike you, I'm not trying to hide from reality or live a life of lies. But I am so happy that you got to come over and introduce me to your fake husband. I see that you're talking to the father of the bride now.
Well, I thought that it would be best for me to talk to him, if you must know. In fact, you might want to talk to him as well.
And just who do you think you are to try and give me orders like that, huh? He's going to be my father-in-law, and I'll talk to him whenever I want.
Well, okay, just don't say that I didn't warn you.
Warn me about what? You're crazy, and this proves it. Anyways, I think Anna's going to be coming out any second now, and the ceremony is going to start. Todd, please wait. Can't we just talk this out? I'm begging you to reconsider. I didn't do anything. That was all Anna's decision there. So there's nothing to reconsider or talk about with me. But, I mean, please. You can't just let her do this over some text I sent years ago. That was my ex-wife and we had a lot of issues, but things are different now. Again, this isn't up to me at all. But I don't see how you can try and defend yourself. Please, you have to trust me. This really is all just one big misunderstanding. Oh, I think we understand just perfectly. You said yourself that a wife and kids and family are all pieces in some giant chess game to you. And we have Cindy to thank for showing us the truth. But I had no idea that you even know who Cindy was. I actually met her through a big project we had going on at the company some years ago. She was one of the leaders of the teams we had set up for it. She was a hard worker and brilliant too. But when she got married, she decided to retire, and I hadn't seen her since then. I had no idea she was marrying you, though. Wait, Todd, please, just let me explain. I want you to know that I've changed a lot since Cindy and I were married. I'll even apologize to her after our wedding. It certainly is the least that you should be doing for her, but I don't see how it's going to help you now. Please, I really do want to make this right. I'll apologize to Cindy and everything. I'll do whatever it takes to prove myself. So you're really telling me that you think you've changed since the time when you were married to Cindy? Yes, I've thought about and reflected on the mistakes that I made back then. I really will apologize to her. Okay then, just how much are you willing to pay then? Pay? Well, I don't quite understand what you mean by that. Well, you said that you reflected on all your mistakes and that you'd apologize, right? Surely you realize that after all you put Cindy through, a simple sorry isn't going to be enough, right? You've caused that poor woman so much damage to her mental health. So of course you should compensate her somehow. But I'm already going to be paying all the fees for postponing the wedding, aren't I? Well, of course you are. After all, it's all your fault that the wedding is being canceled in the first place. Do you have any idea how hurt Anna was when she read those texts? She felt completely used. But, well, I don't have the money to pay for something like that. Well, you said that you reflected on what you did wrong, right? You said you wanted to make this right, didn't you? So then put your money where your mouth is and cough up some cash. Hold on a second. Are you really saying that I have to pay my ex-wife for emotional damages? Of course. Now, why don't you come over here and I'll be an official witness to your apology to Cindy.
There, that wasn't so bad now, was it? I didn't actually think you'd come over, though. I thought you'd just run away.
Shut up! This is all your fault and you know it.
My fault? What do you mean? I thought you'd reflected on all the mistakes that you made.
This is all because you showed Todd those texts I sent you all those years ago, isn't it? Why would you go and do something like that? You ruined my marriage, made me have to pay for the cancellation fees, and on top of that, I have to pay you for some reason?
Something tells me you aren't actually sorry for our past.
What was I supposed to do? Todd had a contract ready to sign, basically forcing me to agree to pay you. What kind of game is that?
Well, you were the one who signed it, and besides, he does have a point. You put me down for months and months because you thought I couldn't have children. And I asked you to go and have a doctor look at you as well, but you refused to even entertain the thought. But here I am pregnant, and that you are left at the altar.
But that isn't fair. You couldn't get pregnant. It's my fault that something changed since then.
You really just don't get it at all. You're the one who can't have children. You seriously have to get over yourself, or else you're just going to get into more trouble.
Shut up! You don't know what you're saying. You were just lying to me this whole time. This whole thing is a giant scam.
I'm sorry, but nobody here thinks that I'm lying. You got in trouble because you said a wife is nothing but a status symbol, and now you're paying for that.
How dare you try and talk down to me like that? Don't you know who I am?
Yeah, you're someone who got stood up at his wedding, someone who nobody respects, and somebody who nobody trusts. You're a self-delusional punk who only uses people for his own ends and is too much of a crybaby to accept responsibility for his own mistakes. Does that sound about right to you?
You can't talk to me like that. Don't you know I'm a high-value male? Everyone here are just beta losers who don't know the first thing about how to increase their social status.
I don't know how to break this to you, but in the real world, nobody cares about that kind of thing. Nobody even thinks about status or alpha or beta or anything like that.
Well, of course a woman like you wouldn't understand what it takes to be a real man in this day and age.
I really just don't even know why I bother with you. But anyways, you signed the contract saying you'd pay me, so don't forget about that. Oh, and I am sorry to hear the news about you losing your job.
Losing my job? What are you talking about? I haven't lost my job.
Well, I'm afraid that now that your boss knows exactly the kind of man that you really are, your days are going to be numbered. After that, the wedding turned from postponed to entirely canceled as Mr. Trask told me that Anna decided she never wanted to get married to a man like Chuck. And of course, Chuck had already agreed to pay for the cancellation fee as well as my compensation. By the time everything shook out, Chuck was left without a single penny to his name. And then, rumors began to fly around his company about things that he had said about wives and children and family, and before long, Chuck was too embarrassed to show his face around the office anymore. He quit, and by doing so, lost all of the reputation he had built for himself there. I heard that he had a hard time finding another job in the same industry after being fired. Word travels fast, and just about every company in town knew the kind of person he was. I have no idea what he's doing for work, but it certainly isn't in the career he has worked so hard to build up his so-called status in. As for Anna, she's a driven girl who wasn't about to become some man's arm candy anyway. She got over Chuck quickly, and I heard that she's avoiding the dating pool until she can find a more mature man to date. As for me, my twins were born safely and without issue. My husband was by my side the whole time, and we both cried after welcoming our 2 little girls into the world. Chuck thought that his strength came from the people he surrounded himself with, but he never understood the importance of being someone worth being around. To him, everyone was a means to an end and not an end in themselves. I can only hope that Chuck has learned some kind of lesson from this, but I really am not too confident that that's happened. Wait a second. No. Please tell me that this is some kind of a joke. Are you telling me that you're really Josh's mom? I knew that his real parents had gotten a divorce and felt so bad for him, but I had no idea that his dad had married you. But don't you worry, though. I'll take perfectly good care of little Josh and make sure he gets all the love that he needs. I take it this is Laura, then? Well, I just wanted to say that I appreciate you coming over today. It was very lovely to meet you. I guess you were pretty surprised to find out that Josh's dad had remarried then. I'm surprised Josh didn't mention anything at all about having a stepmother. Well, it's not like I can really blame him at all for wanting to hide something like that from the world. I mean, I bet he was just so embarrassed to even have to introduce you as his mom. It must be so awkward to have to tell everyone that he is a stepmom. I really don't think that Josh is embarrassed because his dad remarried. And besides, just because we're not related by blood doesn't mean that I don't care a lot for him. Oh, of course not. I'm so sorry. I never meant to imply anything like that at all. I mean, I'm sure that you really believe that deep down. But whatever, it doesn't really matter to me. After all, Josh is going to be all mine soon, so you don't have to worry about keeping this up for much longer. Laura, I'm not sure if there's been some kind of miscommunication or something like that, but you should know that I really care about Josh. And just because we're not related, that doesn't mean that I don't still think of him as my son. Do you understand? I really would appreciate it if you just stopped talking as if I'm just holding on to him for someone to take him off my hands. Oh, come on. You don't really think that you can actually think of Josh as your son, do you? I mean, I know for a fact that you were divorced as well, weren't you? So I think we both know that you were just someone else's trash that another man felt bad enough for to take back home with him. Honestly, though, his dad was better off marrying someone younger than him this time. Laura, do you have any idea how terribly rude you're being right now? Where is all of this coming from? Oh, am I being rude? How do you figure that? I really didn't think I was being anything like that at all. Well, you're being rude and you're saying all kinds of terrible things. Now look, I am telling you that I think of Josh as my son, and nothing is going to change that. I don't care if you don't like it, it's how things are around here. Oh man, you're even more delusional than I thought if you really actually believe that. But if you're really going to act like this, then maybe I should just call the wedding off. Hold on a second, you're telling me that you're going to call a wedding off all because your fiancé's dad got remarried? Okay, fine. You're lucky that I'm kind enough that I wouldn't actually do that, but yes, obviously that's a huge deal, so don't act like it's not. It's going to be so embarrassing to have to explain that you're not even my husband's real mom. I'll just have to explain that my father-in-law made a mistake and for his second marriage ended up picking poorly with you. Laura, I'm really sorry, but I have no idea where you're getting any of your information from. What makes you think that you can talk to me like this? You've got some real nerve. Do you realize that? Okay, so you say that, but am I wrong? Was I off about anything? Because I don't see why you should be getting upset at me just for telling the truth. But I heard that your father is actually quite rich, isn't that right? So maybe there is some logic as to why Josh's father chose to marry you after all. Again, I really don't know where you're getting any of this information from at all. But you really have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, come on, don't try and hide the truth from me. You don't have to go and do that. I mean, let's be real, it's obvious that you're really not all that good looking. You had to be picked up for a reason. So you think that after a woman has gone through her first divorce that the only reason a man would ever want to marry her would be for some ulterior motive? I mean, I didn't say that exactly, but if you want to put those words in my mouth, feel free to. But you really are the classic example of this happening. You know that you're nothing but another man's leftover, so as a defense mechanism, you've latched yourself onto Josh to try and feel like you have a real purpose here. And now you're just mad because I'm pointing it out. Wow, just wow. And you're telling me that Josh really wants to marry a girl like you? Because I had no idea that he had such poor taste in women. You have to be one of the rudest people I have ever met. Well, I suppose he knew that it was best to marry someone young and pretty like me. But it's okay, I know the effect I have on other women. I know how jealous I make you. But at least Josh was smart enough to snatch me up when he had the chance. But I guess you would really have no idea about marrying as a pretty girl. Yeah, I guess not. You sure are right about that. Anyways, I thought I had heard all about you from Josh, but it's clear he neglected to tell me a few things. Well, anyways, I just wanted you to know that you did a great job taking care of this boy who wasn't even yours. And for that, you do actually have my thanks. But you should also know that after Josh and I get married, he's not going to need you in his life anymore, okay? Oh, really? Because somehow I can't actually see Josh saying that he won't need me in his life. But now that I know who he's getting involved with, I have some serious thinking to do.
Hey there, Rachel. I was just curious. What did you think of Josh's fiancée, Laura?
Well, my impression before meeting her was that she was this lovely, polite, kind person. But I think there are some things about her personality that didn't quite sit well with me when we actually met.
Yeah, I think I might know what you're talking about. I mean, she couldn't even hide the look on her face when she found out that you were Josh's stepmom. And I think it was after we had said that her attitude about things began to change.
I'll sure say so. She completely started looking down on me the moment she realized I wasn't Josh's biological mother. Not only that, but she even texted me after she had left our house for the day.
Oh, really? She did? I didn't know that. What kinds of things was she telling you?
She was just insulting me for having been divorced before and for not actually being related to Josh.
You mean to tell me that the woman our son is going to marry messaged you just to tell you those things? Wow, she really isn't the girl we thought she was at all.
Well, I am just sure that that's her showing me her real colors. I just don't know how Josh hasn't seen that yet.
Well, then what do you think we should do about this? I mean, this is the woman that Josh loves, so should we say anything about all this?
Part of me wants to think that this is all going to come out in the open on its own, but I would hate for Josh to regret his first marriage. And I would feel just awful if I saw him get that hurt over being lied to like this.
Rachel, you really are so thoughtful. Do you know that? I mean, I really couldn't ask for a better mother for Josh. You're sweet when you need to be. You know how to discipline him effectively. I'm sure that you've prepared him to go out and be his own man in this world.
Oh, Hank, what is this all of a sudden? You're going to make me blush talking like that.
But I'm being serious. I mean, just take his job. He was so unsure of himself at this position, but you encouraged him and egged him on, and now he's managing the whole place. He owes you a lot.
Well, we weren't even married back then. I was surprised that Josh felt comfortable enough to talk to me about that.
I know I was too, but that was the moment I knew that Josh needed someone like you in his life.
You do know that I also care deeply about Josh as well, right? He really does feel like my own son, and I would do anything for him.
Well, I think you've already done more than his real mom ever has for him. I can't think of anyone else more qualified to call themselves Josh's mother.
I am so happy that you think that, Hank. But I can think of one person who would say that I'm not.
Oh, right, Laura. I just really don't even know what we can do with someone like her. Of course, I don't want Josh to regret this either. But I'm just glad that Josh has had someone like you in his life. I'm sure he'll make the right decision for it.
Oh, Hank, are you forgetting that you're Josh's parent as well? If he's raised any kind of way, it's because of us both. I'm so happy that we've all found each other and are part of each other's lives now.
I agree with you there. I really don't think that I could have done any of this on my own without you there. So, I just want you to know how grateful I am for you.
Hank, you are a very sweet man, and I am so happy we're together, but we really do have more pressing matters to be talking about right now. We still have to figure out what we're going to do about Laura and how we might be able to show Josh the truth. Hey there, I just wanted to let you know that since I'm going to be marrying into the family, what's yours is going to become all mine, right? So anyways, that's why, while you were away on a trip, I decided to use the house. Hold on a second, you mean to tell me that you did all of this? You're the reason our house was trashed when we got back? There was trash all over the floor, the freezer was left open, and I was missing all of my purses and makeup. Are you really telling me that you were the one that did all of that? I mean, that sounds a little dramatic, the way you're putting it. All I did was borrow a key to the house. I figured you all wouldn't mind since you were away on your trip. So then you admit it. You admit that you broke into the house and made all this mess? I'm of half a mind to call the police, you know. Oh, please, don't make such a big deal out of this. It was only me who did it, so there's nothing to worry about at all. Of course there's plenty to worry about. We all thought that a burglar had broken into our house or something. And where did you put all my things that I can't find, huh? You can't just take my things without asking me. What are you talking about? I'm your daughter-in-law, aren't I? If you were kind enough to raise someone you weren't related to, like Josh, why can't you be kind to me? What in the world are you even talking about? Don't you realize that you've committed a crime by doing this? I don't care at all if you're my daughter-in-law. You really are such a pain, do you know that? Well, I just want you to know that your selfishness is not winning me over. And at this rate, I'm never ever going to really see you as my mom. I don't care at all about that. Do you have any idea where you stand right now? Just give me my things back right this second. Hey, Rachel, you do know that today is my wedding, don't you? So just what in the world do you think you're doing, huh? What are you talking about? I only went to go and speak with you a little bit and you threw a can of beer right at me. Well, I don't ever remember calling you over to speak to me in the first place, do you? Excuse me? What is that supposed to mean? I mean that you're nothing to this family after today. You're just a stepmother who is going to fall away into the background. It's high time that you realize you don't have a place here anymore. So you better not show your face around here again, or else I'll call the police and have them drag you out of here. Got it? Well, if that's the way you're going to act, then of course I'm not going to go into your wedding. Don't you worry about that. Oh, really? Well, wow, that was a lot easier than I thought. And here I thought I had a reason to worry about you. But the only people that are going to be allowed at the wedding are blood relatives. Oh, really? Is that so? I must have missed that memo on the invitation. Well, just as long as you realize where you stand in all of this now. I really don't care at all if you and Hank want to cut Josh and I off. I'll just tell everyone that I couldn't make things work with my no-good, cruel mother-in-law. It's obvious that this was your plan right from the very start, but whatever. do what you will. Hey, what the heck is going on here? Why am I being told that we can't start the ceremony until you arrive? I don't get what you're so shocked about. Why are you even bothering to message me about this? Well, I don't get it. I was just told that the venue got a call from you telling them to cancel the whole wedding? What the heck is going on here? Well, it's just what you said. I canceled the whole wedding. Consider it payback for throwing that beer at me. But this doesn't make any sense at all. Why would the staff listen to you about this? This is my wedding. You shouldn't be able to cancel it. Well, I was the one who arranged for it all and paid for it, so... And you should also know that it was Josh who asked me to do all of that to begin with. I guess, now that you say that, Josh did say that you knew a lot more about throwing a wedding than he did, but I had no idea that he had left all the planning up to you. Yeah, well, he did. And I was involved in this wedding every step of the way. But I guess you really had no idea about that at all. So then you're telling me that you put this together and Hank had nothing to do with this at all? I don't get it. Why would he let someone like you arrange the whole wedding? You're nothing but a housewife and just another man's trash that Josh's dad picked up. Yeah, you really need to check your facts on that one. First of all, I married Josh's father for love. Second of all, I know that you think that Hank owns a business, but I'm the one that does that. Hank is just my assistant. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Of course it does, and I used my connections with the manager of the venue to get you a good deal. I really did have to pull some strings all to make this wedding come together, so it is such a shame to cancel it. But don't worry, you'll be getting the invoice for the whole thing in the mail soon. Wait, what? You're going to try and make me pay for all of this? How would that even work? Well, it's the policy of the venue that the person making the reservations has to be there at the time of the event. But since you threw your beer on me and kicked me out, the venue can't start the wedding. And everyone did see you do that to me. But, this is Josh's wedding. Are you really going to cancel it just over this? Actually, he just messaged me and agreed with what I was doing. He apologized for being so blind to the person that you really are. That can't be right. You mean that Josh is really breaking up with me? This can't be happening. I won't allow it. Well, in case you haven't noticed, the decision really isn't in your hands at all. And Josh is terribly upset with you. He's upset with me? He should be upset with his stepmother pulling the plug on his own wedding. Why is he even this upset about it? I already explained this to you, Laura. Just because we're not related by blood doesn't mean that we don't care very much about each other. I think of Josh as my son, and he thinks of me as his mom, and it's been that way for a long time now. But this doesn't make any sense. How could someone feel that way? Well, Josh's mom died when he was very, very young. I had already known Hank through my work, and I got to know Josh from a young age. So by the time his father and I got married, Josh and I were already very close. When his mom died, I had no intention of marrying Hank or becoming Josh's mother, but then life just sort of happened to push us together. You do know that Josh calls me Mom, don't you? Does he actually call you Mom? I guess that I just never noticed that. Well, after Hank and I got married, Hank's health worsened and eventually he couldn't run the company like he used to. He asked me to take over for him, and he's been assisting me ever since. But I still don't get it. You're not even Josh's real mom. How could he be getting this upset just over what I did to you? You really aren't a strong reader at all, are you? I practically raised Josh from when he was a baby to the man who he is today. So I'm really not sure what you thought you were accomplishing with your little attack on me. All it served was to turn everyone who might have been your friend against you. So then, you're saying that this is all my fault and everyone thinks that I'm the bad guy in this? I don't even think it's a matter of thinking that. I think that's just the plain truth, if you ask me. You threw beer on your own future mother-in-law and tried to throw her out of your wedding. At this point, everyone probably just thinks you're only marrying Josh to try and get to his family's money. But you should know that I was never going to allow that to happen in the first place. Oh, and by the way, the house was installed with security cameras, and now I have the footage of you stealing all my things. I've already told the police, and they're on their way right now. So I'll be sure to make you pay for those as well. Have a nice life. After that, Laura changed her tune and begged me to come back to the wedding and call off the police. But by then, Josh had already come out to talk to her and explained to her that the wedding was off and would never be back on. Laura was also arrested for her theft of my things and for her assault on my person. In court, she was fined with the whole of the wedding, as well as the goods she stole, and had to take out a huge loan in order to repay all that she owed me. I heard that after that, she lost her job because of the scene that she made and the videos of her that circulated around the internet. She was so embarrassed by all the rumors being passed around by her coworkers that she couldn't stand to be in the company any longer. Now I hear that she lives in a tiny apartment that she had to move into after quitting her job. Unable to find any new work at the same pay, she was forced to take on multiple part-time jobs and live a life of poverty in order to pay back all of her debts accumulated from her bad behavior. Josh apologized to me and said that he truly had no idea what a horrible person Laura was. I said that was okay and that love sometimes makes us blind to the red flags that we would otherwise pick up on. Josh has been quite sad since his wedding fell apart, but I'm doing my best to be there for him and encourage him to never give up on love. I think him knowing that his father and I found each other in our adult years gave him some reassurance. Since then, things have mostly gone back to normal, and I've returned to managing Hank's business as I had been. Josh is next in line to take over the company, but he is still training to understand all the different departments and roles that he will have to supervise over when his time comes. I realize that to the outside eye, a family like what I have with Hank and Josh might seem a little unorthodox, but it doesn't change the reality of the feelings that we all have for each other. Family truly is what you make it, and I am glad that the three of us were strong enough not to let a woman like Laura get in the way of that. Love truly is strong enough to overcome any kind of adversity. The next time someone tries to tell me that I'm not really family with those who I know in my heart are, I already know it won't even faze me after the kinds of things I've had to deal with in this most recent episode involving Laura. I only hope that Laura herself can pull her life together and learn a valuable lesson about respect. Otherwise, she is going to have a hard time fixing her life and digging herself out of the hole that she's dug through all her bad behavior and annoying antics. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.